So Israel's fight to protect its border from Hamas and Hezbollah, raising fears of our own at our own border. In a memo obtained by the Daily Caller, CBP in San Diego warns, quote, individuals inspired by or reacting to the current Israel-Hamas conflict may attempt to travel to or from the area of hostilities in the Middle East via transit across the southwest border. It comes as a record number of suspects on the terror watch list tried illegally entering the country. Former acting ICE director and Fox News contributor Tom Homan joins us now. You know, Tom, as people are praying for our friends in Israel and they're seeing the conflict, the number one question I get when I talk to Americans today are those people that threaten Israel here at home? And you say what?
I say absolutely. Look, Lawrence, I wrote an op-ed in June of 2020. I said if Joe Biden becomes president, we lose the border. We lose operational control of the border. And when you lose operational control of the border, when the Border Patrol is so overwhelmed that most agents are no longer on patrol because they're dealing with this self-inflicted humanitarian crisis, that's when the fentanyl comes across and kills over 100,000 Americans. That's when the sex trafficking of women and children skyrocket, and that's when non-suspected terrorists will use that vulnerable border to get into this country. Look, just last month, they got 18 in 1 month. 4 years on the Trump administration, we have 14. 14 in 4 years. Since Joe Biden's taken the White House, they've had 272. We had 14 in 4 years. This is the biggest national security failure I've seen in this country since 9/11.
Tom, that doesn't include the gotaways as well. Those are just the ones that they caught, right?
Absolutely. 1.7 million gotaways. Here's what people need to know. Border Patrol's arrested people from 171 different countries. Some of these countries are sponsors of terror. They've arrested, like I said, 272. If you don't think a single one of that 1.7 million didn't come here to do us harm, to come from a country sponsoring terrorism, then you're ignoring the data. I know in my heart, based on my over 3 decades of doing this, non-suspected terrorists have crossed our border. I don't know how many, but someday we're going to find out, and it's going to be a bad day for America.
You know, Tom, we can talk about the border, but we can also talk about the protests all over the country right now. And the people are screaming, death to America. Open jihad. I had someone question me when I was at a protest, why is the American press even here, as if America is a foreign country? So as you see this, as someone that's been in law enforcement, Homeland Security for over 30 years, are you concerned right now what you're seeing all across the country, not just at the border, but all these protests?
I'm concerned from a couple of different aspects. Number one, these sympathizers that are in the United States are supporting the terrorists for Hamas. That concerns me because the terrorists that have entered this country, the sympathizers here, they can be talked into doing something stupid and harming this country. Second of all, I'll say this. For the people that are protesting are here on a visa, and they came from these countries, we took them in, we made them a part of this country. If they're going to attack the United States, we need to look at actions we can do to deport them. And finally, Trey Yanks is doing a great job. I noticed earlier he says he can't say certain things because it's just too awful, too dramatic for being on national TV. I think we need to say these things. I think we need to talk about the disgusting things Hamas did and the inhumane things they did to these Israeli people, to let the American people know what actually happened over there. I think that will sway a lot of opinion in this country. Absolutely.
You know, Tom, I think it's such a valid point. I tweeted the other day that I feel like Hamas is winning the propaganda war. And the only way you defeat that is by showing Americans the truth, what's really happening. Tom, thank you so much for all that you do. We appreciate you joining us this morning.